Shall we, team? Let's do it. Here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Chit chat. I'm gonna take a sip of this and then put it down. How are you guys doing?
We're so great. We're just so happy to be here.
Good. Well, welcome. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Mostly Miss. We are here today with my lovely dear friends and esteemed colleagues and coworkers, Christina, Swanson, and Karina Parker. Ooh! So we're here today to talk a little bit about their upcoming project, which is a film version of L'Incoronazione di Poppea. It's an opera that is, correct me if I'm wrong, Monteverdi in the 1643 is when it was written and first performed. So to say it plainly, it's Poppea, this opera, is about the Roman Emperor Nero. It's about him and his lover and the coronation of his lover, Poppea, who's full of spunk.
Love the word choice there. That's absolutely the right word choice.
Yeah, so let's get into it. I just want to ask you a little bit about what inspired you to do this opera specifically, this Baroque opera.
Well, Christina and I both share a passion for early music, Baroque opera. It was one of the first things we really talked about when we met in our choir that mostly does early music. So it was a kind of a natural conversation. And our love for it goes beyond just loving the music, which is obviously the basis of our attraction. But we were in a different world, historically speaking, and what the expectations were for opera. In Baroque opera, it was not as rigid, it was not as, unfortunately, elitist as many people feel opera is today. Mm-hmm. It was a place where everyone and anyone could come. It was our first forms of pop concerts, our first forms of entertainment, and it was a whole community experience. People would be, singing along, and they would come night after night, and it was something that is really more akin to, like I said, our music festivals or, films.
Right.
That had that following. Yeah, and so we just love that it just kind of we could take the stress and kind of the pomp and circumstance around opera. Mm-hmm. We could pull those walls down. Yeah. I think that was its original attraction. Yeah, Christina.
So that's, early music is such a great fit for that reason. The opera itself is really, really special because, first of all, the story is a story that at the time was really well known. And this is something that really happened. And so people, even though this was performed, 1,000 years after the event actually happened, people knew the story. But this story doesn't give us a very clear moral sense of right and wrong. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily a cautionary tale. There's not really a good guy, if you will, and a bad guy. And that really attracted us to this opera because part of what we want to do in our mission is dig into the storytelling and bring out stories that people aren't really familiar with because opera is shrouded in so much mystery. Mm-hmm. So if we can just centralize a really compelling story that's really relatable to modern audiences, this ambiguity, who's right and who's wrong, we thought that would really be a good fit.
Yeah. This historically speaking, Monteverdi really bridges the gap between Renaissance and Baroque music. And in the Renaissance period, we go from strictly, legally, only church music, sacred music, being allowed, not being able to hire women as the performers.
Right.
And so opera was the first derivative of that, the first experiment of music not in a church setting.
It's the Wild West.
It's the Wild West.
100%.
And you see that. Yeah. You see that in the characters. You see that in the sexiness. You see that in the that's where opera gets its roots in just like, okay, there's always someone dead, there's always someone having a love affair, there's because it was the first time that we could break away from that mold.
Yeah.
Right. So it was really a blank canvas, and we love it because of that. And if we were going to take an adaptation, we wanted something that had that kind of blank canvas feel.
Like, is La Boheme, like, one of the most famous operas in the whole world? Does that one have a pretty strict...
People come to a La Boheme and they know what they expect, and they want that. And if you do something different, people can get up in arms about it.
Right. So, to move to, on that note, the same note, so they changed the gender of Nero, who is the Roman emperor, who is a man, historically.
Yeah.
You guys decided to cast this character as a woman.
Yeah. So a little background, and then I'd love for you to, it was a long decision, a long story behind that decision. But historically speaking, Nerone, again, we're still coming out of the church. Women weren't always allowed to perform on stage. This was just the kind of transition into that. Mm-hmm. So as a result of that, you had a sector of male singers who were castrated at a young age to be able to keep their higher range so that they could sing essentially female voices in a church, and then that was put into opera, and they were rock stars. People were falling all over them. They were a special breed of human, essentially, and they had these incredible ranges that are in a female's range, natural female's range, and so this opera is essentially only able to be played by a woman because it has that high range. And so you will traditionally see the casting of Nerone as a woman, and we call that a pants role, a woman playing a man. And you often see it for young boys. You don't often see it for fully developed men characters, but because of this kind of distinction between castrati singers and our voice types today, that is why traditionally it is played by a woman, but yet still playing Nerone as a man.
Still playing...
Okay, cool.
So, we had this... Okay, we're looking at the casting, and we can either, cast Nerone as a countertenor. And I think it's important to note that, these ideas are kind of rooted in the binary ideas of voice types, which still are in need of evolution.
Yeah.
So bear with me, as those are the terms that I have at my disposal today. Mm-hmm. But a countertenor is someone who's born a male, but has a high range, very, very rare. Mm-hmm. And then you have like a mezzo, who would, a woman, a higher voice, who would be playing Nero. And so we're like, okay, so we're going to find a mezzo or a countertenor, fine. And we're looking at this and saying, and yet, we want audiences to see themselves represented on stage. Mm-hmm. We want women and other folks to see representations of, basically non-males, non-cis males in power. How can we do that? And we thought, this is an opportunity. We could do what's always been done, or we could take this as an opportunity. I think Monteverdi's fine with it. Yeah. Because these operas, it was understood that some things were going to be changed. Yeah. And so we decided to showcase a woman in a more powerful role, showcase a non-heterosexual relationship, and create characters that actually would represent the type of audience that we want to get to see this show.
It's also interesting because, like, Poppea, so there's Nero, who's literally the emperor, this woman in a powerful role that we get to see in your show, in your film, but then also Poppea as a character is, like, so badass. And so the question is, how do you feel your resources from the community have helped you, and also how has the community responded to what you're doing?
Well, I think that this is twofold or multifold, right? Definitely. Because we have the community that has helped us to create this, and then we have a community we want to create by virtue of this project. So they're kind of two different things. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about the community that's helped us create this.
Okay.
So, we are really lucky to have met a lot of other artists, just even through auditions, and people who want to be involved in this project. And I think it's kind of amazing when you look at the non-opera people, like yourself, although you know a lot about opera and you've worked in opera, non-opera singers or opera directors specifically, who are excited about this project and who want to be interested in this project. Again, I think that having cinematographers, having local emerging artists, people doing sound editing, gaffer, people from a variety of artistic mediums, I think that really not only builds a community that transcends opera, but thus we hope will make our project more accessible to a wider community. And one thing that we're trying to do is create a new community to reach people who are not opera goers. Yeah. And so one thing that we did prior to changing the gender of Nero is we had a round table with friends and colleagues, and we
yourself included.
Yeah, yourself included.
All of my good opinions. Just kidding.
So many, actually, truly. You said I like an evil woman, right? You said that to us. We were like, okay, let's do it.
You remember that?
I do, very clearly, because we were nervous. We didn't want people to think that we were trying to demonize a woman as a lesbian relationship. Exactly. But we realized we fell in love with Nero. We thought we would hate her, because the character being is just this very corrupt, toxic personality. But we love her.
She's a product of her circumstances,
she really
just like everybody else.
Absolutely.
Right. And just one of the many reasons why we love this opera. If we haven't made that clear, but our community in that very first roundtable was so essential, and we said, how do you want to see yourselves on stage? How can we, reflect you on stage?
So this leads to the Brooklyn Arts Council, the Community Arts Grants that you guys have been awarded. Congratulations! That's so exciting.
Yes. Another barrier of entry that we wanted to make sure that we were addressing is the cost. Because we have dwindling audiences. There's lots of artists. There's lots of supply, not a lot of demand. Therefore, the cost of tickets are rising, and people don't want to spend money to go see something they're not even sure they're gonna like.
Well, so something that I'm really excited about. You guys said that there's gonna be screenings.
Yes, free screenings.
So it's gonna be cool
because of BAC, really, because of Brooklyn Arts Council. We're not going to be charging any sort of ticket charge.
Yeah. Nice.
Because we don't want people to gamble. If that's really what's going to stop them from coming. Right. If we want it to be something that they see and draws them in, and can kind of be something that is accessible in that way, and being more of a community experience.
I also want to say that. So you're trying to create a new audience, right? You're trying to for opera. Yeah. First of all, people have to see it, right? And so film is an easy way to have people be comfortable to watch something,
100%. Absolutely.
The Met is intimidating, extremely intimidating, whether or not you have money, you're just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And you guys, so you have to be interested, you have to know anything about it to be like, okay, I'm interested in opera, let me be involved, let me go see it. And you have to feel welcomed as an audience member too. Yes. And I think you guys have done a really good job, at least as a collaborator, and as someone who loves your stuff that you've made as artists. You're very welcoming. You're very please come enjoy this time. And dare I say, I know we talk about these things in terms of art a lot, but it is also entertainment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yes. It is also very much entertainment, and opera specifically is very emotional entertainment for me. Yeah. Because it's so dramatic in the most beautiful way. It's so explicit, you know? Yeah. And as an audience member, you want to feel welcome into the community, and
yes.
Yeah, and it's entertaining.
Well, I so appreciate that. I mean, I just feel like we're I hate to use this phrase, but we're in the 21st century. Collaboration and communication is available at our fingertips at all times. And so much of the world, from business to most art forms, have benefited from that. Yeah. And yet we're still stuck. We're still stuck in this. And I'm a history freak. I love the historical aspects. I love traditional corseted productions of all of the Mozarts. I mean, I love it. But the truth is that we have an audience that can listen to everything from Gregorian chant to, Taylor Swift's latest hit, whereas before our audiences had only heard one thing in their life if they've ever been able to hear something before because if they had the money and the resources.
Right.
So we have such an incredible opportunity, right, to communicate, and I just don't think we're really using it to its full potential for so many reasons, right? That's not just one reason, but we have to invite that community in. That's how we're going to grow. That's how we're going to push this art form to the next level. Otherwise, it's going to stay stagnant. It's going to stay exactly the way it is.
Yeah. When can we see it? When can we see it?
There will be screenings in Brooklyn public spaces, Brooklyn parks.
Yeah. I cannot wait. Everyone, get your freaking blanket.
That's all you need.
I am so excited. Family entertainment outside in the summertime. Good music, good movie.
Bring your beverages, whatever they may be.
Come to laugh, come to cry.
Absolutely. This is truly an experience for you. We want people to just get rid of all of their preconceived notions and kind of come up with a fresh. I think we all need a fresh start.
Definitely.
We all need a fresh start, and we just hope this is one opportunity for that in the community.
And we'll be there. Ask us questions. Yeah. Tell us you love it. Tell us how we can improve. How we can make it better.
Yeah. And it will be online. It will be free to stream.
I'm having this dream about. Have you ever seen? This is a side tangent, but Parks and Rec.
Yes.
When they screen all those movies in the park, that's just my dream. Yeah. That's how I imagine it being, and I've never wanted anything more.
It's that idea of community that is so important, but especially right now. You know,
right.
We just need to be together. We need to safely.
Exactly.
6 feet apart, obviously.
Yeah.
But we really do need those experiences. It's so soothing to the and what's better than community and art. Right. And music and fun.
Another thing that I just want to add is, like, I'm looking at these basketball prices. Yeah. Basketball is so
expensive.
So expensive. It's $400 for a ticket.
Yeah.
For a good team, $180 for a bad team.
Yeah.
And you're like, what?
Yes.
How is this? And how is this so? People will spend it because they've been playing basketball. They've been watching basketball their whole life, right? And so opera can get there, and again, it's not about making money, but to a certain extent, it's just like people need to be willing to spend this money for something in the environment and the space that they love to be in and feel comfortable in.
Absolutely.
Willing to make an investment. And, this goes, the example of basketball is such a good example, because I don't begrudge anyone who wants to spend $400 on a basketball ticket, if that's what they want to do, because it's important to them, it's part of their weekly ritual, culture, watching the game, watching their team, whatever. Right. Our dream is just that the arts get that much attention, not just on an individual level of what am I going to spend my own personal money on, but keep in mind we vote.
Yeah.
So we all have the option to vote for representatives who are going to advocate for the arts.
And also time is money. How you spend your time. We get it. We are often financially struggling and have to make those choices of which shows we can see and which ones we can't afford to see this week. But if there are free opportunities, low-cost opportunities, go.
I think that's,
Go.
Absolutely.
Even if you have to leave 30 minutes early to get to something else, go. And show that support. Because to artists, it's like sharing a post, right? For social media influencers. If you cannot financially support me, word of mouth, right? Actually attending the performances, that helps us get where we need to go. That helps prove to our officials that we deserve the money. That helps, XYZQ. So don't think that when people are asking for art support that it just has to be, cash donations. No. There's so many ways.
Show up.
And try. It's good for it's a great community builder. Even if you don't like the performance, have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's such a great opportunity.
Yay!
Okay. Thank you so sorry.
I know. Okay, one more. Let's say one more. Are we good? Goodbye. One more goodbye. Love you guys.
We love
Thank
you
so much for coming.
So great to be here.
So much fun.
Such an amazing.
Can't wait to see all of our mostly missed audience members. We hope.
Yes. Be there or be square.
Truly.
And obviously more information will come. Thank you.
Bye.